Okay, guys, the story we're going to read today is called, let me get in the sun a little more so we can see. Okay. It's called Last Stop on Market Street. Now I want us to look at this. Market Street is a street actually in downtown San Francisco, and this looks a lot like one of the buses. So maybe this story takes place in San Francisco. Let's read. Last Stop on Market Street by Martin de la Pena. If it's by him, what is he? Very good. He's the author. And the pictures are by Christian Robinson. If the pictures are by him, he's the... Very good. He's the illustrator. Last Stop on Market Street. And what page is this? Great. This is the title page. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire. And old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. Who do you think Mr. Dennis is? So here's CJ and his Nana. So who does it look like Mr. Dennis is? Good, he's the bus driver. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ears and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. The bus lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get the chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. So I want to pause here. How do you guys think CJ is feeling? He's saying he has to do all these things that his friends don't have to do. He has to take the bus. They don't have a car. He has to go somewhere after church. His friends can go home. How do you think he's feeling? Maybe he's feeling a little jealous of his friends. It sounds like he kind of wants to do the things that they do. It sounds like he wants to go home right after church, or he wants to ride in a car. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." That's a fact. Their noses, too, the man said, sniffing at the air. That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am. Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. Nana sat down her knitting. So let's look. What do those boys have? See? There's CJ. Here's the dog. What do these boys have that he wants? Could they have a phone or an iPod? Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. Nana set down her knitting. What for? You got the real thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song? CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered. I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. Right, so it sounds like CJ's a little jealous. You know, these boys have iPods, and phones, and his friends get to do all these things. But his Nana keeps telling him, no, look at all the cool things you get to do. Look at all the cool people you get to see. You get to listen to a musician on the bus. You get to meet all these people and this dog. So Nana's trying to make him realize, you don't have to be jealous. You get to have all your own cool things. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped in the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful, and you can see what's prettier around you. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arching over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, at the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, I'm glad we came. He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, Me too, CJ. Come on now. So soup kitchen, where they are right now, it looks like they're helping at the soup kitchen. So it's where people can serve food to people, and sometimes people who need food and don't have anywhere to get food, they'll go to the soup kitchen. The end.